So let's start. Hands together. Press the feet down.
What's your bowl today?
No, I put it away.
Yeah.
And then I forgot because there was a yoga thing on last night. And I didn't bring it all back. And then Jamie was in the studio last night. And I was cleaning it again this morning. I cleaned it last night and again this morning. But what I will do is just give you a bolster. There's one bolster there for you. There you go. Another one. Try not to throw it at you.
I'm sort of standing here in anticipation.
Praying through the stars.
Yes.
You ought to wear that colour more often.
I know.
Absolutely, yes.
I've actually
really suits you.
bought one of these, but in a fleece, because I won't be able to wear these top,
Why not?
well, because I get cold, basically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hands together,
Good enough reason.
lift the toes and lower them. Thank you for the colour approval. Breathing in, lifting up, stretching up, and just slightly sway from side to side. Stretch up, and then the hands down again, lift, and roll the shoulders. And then come to the top of the mat. Soften the knees, stretch up, make modifications if you need to. Come down through the centre, hands onto the shin, breathing in, half lift. Breathing out, soften the knees and just touch the hands to the ground. Step back with the right foot, extend the right leg back. And then right knee down. It's left foot back. That's the back, not knee. Left knee down. Dip in the back, looking up. Rounding the back, chin to chest and bottom towards the heels. Scoop the chin forward, dipping the back, coming to tabletop. Dipped back, round the back, chin to chest and bottom goes towards the heels. And then coming to tabletop, tucking the toes, and we're going to come to standing. So if you don't want to come to downward dog, we're going to make our way up to standing. So downward dog, walking the heels. Hi there. Sorry. That's all right. I've listened to a slightly more rigorous practice. And then walk the feet to the hands to the feet. Before you do, just soften the knees, hold your elbows, just really stretch out the lower back. And then drop the arms. Press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Can we do wherever you want to go?
Come in the middle here and make sure we go there.
We'll do go wherever you want to.
So we're going through.
Yes, super so.
I've just said that there's a problem on the M25 this morning, so that it chops up everywhere.
But you know the station road bit?
Anyway, they've got three-way traffic.
Station
traffic
road?
again.
What, Cairn to Walton?
If you come out of my road and go right,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That station
so
road.
I chose the wrong way.
Yeah, we don't, just de-stress, doesn't.
And then they've got them everywhere. They're digging all the roads up suddenly, because it's the last day of school.
I don't think the roads have dug themselves up with the heat. Just come to stretch up, just doing a little bit of stretch. And lower the hands and then just side to side. And then just come to stillness, lift and roll the shoulders. And we're going to come to the left side, so come to the top of the mat. hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, circle up, only go as high as you're able to with the shoulders. Come through the centre, slide the hands onto the knees, half lift. And as you breathe out, soften the knees, hands to either side of you, and then step back the left foot high. And lower the left knee down to the ground. Right knee comes back, you're on to tabletop. Breathing in, dipping the back, looking up. Breathing out, rounding the back, chin to chest. Bringing the bottom towards the heels, stretching out. Dipping the back, scooping the chin forward into dipping, to your cat-cow aspect, looking up and then rounding the back, chin to chest. And then come to tabletop, tucking the toes underneath your tummy in. We're going to come ultimately to standing, but via downward dog. If you want to do that, walking the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Engage thumb and second finger. Aim the inner elbows towards one another so that if you are prone to being quite flexible in your joints, you're not going to misalign your shoulders at all. And then both legs stretch back, bend both knees and then walk your feet to your hands to your feet. And once more, soften the knees and almost lay the top of your body on your bent upper legs, holding your elbows. Just gently nod slightly up and down to the side, freeing off the neck. And then drop the hands, press the feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, stretching up your hands and then circling the wrists down. Lift and roll the shoulders, hands together at the heart centre, soften the knees, circle up, palms touch, come through the centre, softening the knees again, hands onto the shins, breathing in, lengthen, half lift, breathing out, soften the knees, hands to the ground, step back with your right foot, stretch your right foot back, right knee to the ground, left knee to the ground. Now this time, come onto the elbows, bottom is in the air, and just waggle your bottom from side to side. Giving movement to the abdominal area, and then just slide totally onto your front, and totally stretch your hands out in front of you. Just optionally tap tops of your feet to the ground and then bend your knees, soles of the feet to the ceiling, and just sway your feet from side to side in a windscreen wiper movement. Your forehead can rest on the ground if that feels comfortable. You're opening the front of the hip. And then come to the centre with your feet and circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the opposite direction. And then stretch the feet and relax them. And then stretch the feet and relax them. And then just lower the feet back down onto the ground. And then just keep the right arm extended out as it is and roll onto the right side. And use your left hand to support you. So you're really just stretching out the right side, resting the top of the head on the inside of the right arm. And then staying like this, bend the upper left knee and hold the left ankle, if you can, with your left hand. And it's almost like a dancer's pose on the side. So you're just feeling this on the top thigh, left thigh at the front. And this connects into a lot of the bone marrow, the white blood cells are manufactured in the bone marrow, particularly in the thigh bones. So this is said to boost the immune system. So it is actually a side dancer's pose, but lying on the side. And then just roll onto your front again. Slide your hands towards you so as you come up into Sphinx pose. So this then becomes a back bend. Just wobble your bottom from side to side, looking either down or up, but down might be quite nice to release the neck. And then you can come to kneeling however you want to. So you can keep your elbows on the ground, tummy in, and then just come to up being on your knees and root your knees forward. That's a soft rise. And then come to tabletop, your hands are on the ground. Just waggle your bottom from side to side. And then we're going to come to standing, but again the option is lie downward dog. So tucking your toes, just stretch the backs of the toes out, tummy in, perineum engages, and then come to a very soft downward dog, lengthening the back, then lengthening the legs, and then walking the dog, bending one knee and then the other knee. Swaying the bottom perhaps from side to side. Extend both legs, both heels aim towards the ground, and then soften the knees as you walk your feet to your hands to your feet, and then come to hold your elbows again as you soften your knees, resting the top of the body on your bent knees, really stretching out the lower back, and then just drop your hands and press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And then breathing in, raise your hands up, hold your right wrist with your left hand and just come over to the left and come over maybe to the right. And then change hands so that your right hand is holding your left wrist and then come over to the other side, just stretching out laterally. And then lower the hands, breathing in, hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, circle the hands up, stretching up, palms together, soften the knees and come through, hands onto the shins, uplift. And then breathing out, soften the knees, hands to either side of you and step back with your left foot, stretching out the left leg for a nanosecond, left knee to the ground. Slide back your right leg. Once more, just sway your hips from side to side. And this time, perhaps look over one shoulder and then the other shoulder. And then come to have the bottom high and come into puppy pose. So I've got both elbows on the ground. You don't have to, you can have your elbows off the ground. Bottom is up in the air. And even with the bottom in the air, you can just very gently, subtly move your hips from side to side here, but you might prefer to stay static, stretching out the upper back. It's quite nice for the lower back. To secure the pose, you still need to engage your perineum, tummy in, and then sliding the hands back to kneel up. Breathing in, lift and roll the shoulders. If you want, or you feel a little bit wobbly, you can have your knees wider. You can also tuck your toes under as an option. Some people don't like that. Turn to the right as you place your left hand on your tummy, your navel, right hand on the waist, and look over your right shoulder. And then come to the centre, right hand on the navel, left hand on the left waist, turn to look over the left shoulder. And then come back to the centre, come back to tabletop. And slide your left foot back, tuck your left toes under, keep your left toes connected to the ground, and raise your right arm, tummy in, If you feel that you are balanced and your core is strong, you can lift up your left leg. It's a lot harder. Otherwise, keep your left leg on the floor. And then lower your right hand, lower your left knee, and switch sides as you extend your right leg, tuck your right toes under, raise your left arm. You're looking down, tummy is in. You can stay like this, or you can lift your right leg, much harder. And then lower your left hand, lower your left knee. And some classic cat-cows, dipping your back, looking up, breathing out, rounding your back, chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping your back. And this time as you round your back, chin to chest, bring your bottom towards your heels, stretching your arms, stretching your back out. Dip your chin, dip your elbows as you dip your back as you come forward onto hands and knees. And breathing out, rounding. Chin to chest, bottom towards the heels. Your elbows might touch the ground. And then dipping in. And then rounding, chin to chest. Coming into child's pose, so you can have your knees further apart. If you want to, you can have your hands forward. Or if you want classic child's pose, have your palms upwards, which stretches your lower back out a little bit more. Calming for the nervous system, focusing the breath into the back a little bit more. And then just very gently come to sit up, drop your bottom to the side and stretch your legs out in front of you. And do you want a bolster? Would you like a bolster?
No, Chrissy, don't worry, I can
Get to a bolster.
No, fine. Honestly. What are we doing?
We're going to possibly do a version of Genesis Asana. I'm just thinking you might not need a bolster, but on the other hand, you might. So, just come to have your legs out in front of you. Flesh out from under the bottom. Hands to either side of you, toes up and toes away a couple of times. And then circling the ankles in one direction and circling the ankles in the opposite direction. And stretching the toes out and just relaxing them a couple of times. And then hugging the right knee into the chest. Drop the right knee out to the side. If you want support under your right thigh, and do take it, extend your left heel. Just touch your hands to either side of you. Breathe in. Circle the hands to where you feel is appropriate. And turn your body towards the outstretched left leg. Tummy in. Bend the elbows and just slide the hand forward on the shins. And you'll feel this in the outer right thigh. So how far you slide your hands down your left leg is up to you. You can slide down to your chin. You can slide right way down to hold the left foot. You can hold the outside of the left foot with the right hand and the left hand behind. Chin in, behind you. Whatever feels comfortable. So this is called head to knee pose. The Sanskrit name is Janusirsasana. And it is a forward bend, so calming for the nervous system. It's opening for the right hip and the lower lymphatic system. And it's a slight rotation, so it's realigning for the spine. breadth goes in more into the back. And then tummy in, perineum engages as you slide your hands up the left leg. Just hold your right knee and just turn to look over your right shoulder. Come back to the centre and slide your right leg out. You can just massage along around the right knee joint. If you want support, take your support from the right side to the left side, if you need that is, and hugging your left knee in. And then opening the knee to the left, if you need support. Extending your right foot, turning to face your right extended foot, lengthening, sitting up. Breathing in, circling the arms to where you can. And think as you turn your body to the right that you lead with the chest over your right leg, and then when you're relaxed, just and you've gone as far as you think you need to, you'd like to just then relax forward. And again, the side where your hands go, on shins maybe, on your feet maybe, left hand to the outer side of your right foot, right hand behind, looking downwards behind you. Whatever works for you. There's a very long muscle at the back, connecting most like the ribs to the hips, and it's called the quadratus lumborum. And it's very implicated in lower back problems. It's almost just sort of along here. And this muscle is being stretched also in this particular pose. And then just very gently think about bringing the tummy in, the perineum engages. Just slide your hands up your right leg and then bend your left leg in, extend your left leg along the ground. Just bounce your legs, rub them, pat them. And then we're going to very briefly have the soles of the feet together. So if Sue has any nuggets of wisdom or you want to ask Sue anything about anything. On points the feet together, so bring the soles of the feet together. Maybe massaging the soles, and focus.
I can't think at the moment.
We'll do the spine because the feet are up. The spine goes from the top of the outside of your big toe. Right, follow it down across your big toe, and then if you follow the bone round, which goes up the top, round your inner step, and then down back onto the, so you can feel the little notches in your bone as you're putting your finger along. So those are the reflex points for your spine. So actually, if you've got the time and the inclination, you could literally count the number of vertebrae that you've got. Count down. So if you've got a back problem, often you'll get to the point on either side, but depending on whether your back hurts more on the right or the left, to a point where it hurts. And mine is just about here, which is my lower spine. But in fact, it's worse on the right side. So you've got that bone that you've got. Just follow. You can follow the whole bone. It's got like a little notch.
Yeah.
So those are the reflex points for each one of your vertebrae going down. So if you've got a back problem in a certain area, sort of manipulating that reflex point can help. And don't do it too hard. But it's and you can definitely feel the difference on the right or left depending on which side of your back hurts. Yes.
And then just enjoy that massage. You're opening your lower abdominal, the hips, lower hips. So it's the lower, it's the lower lymphatic system as well. Blood supply goes to the groin area, and then just very gently support legs underneath. You'll come into line on the ground. Have your support, if you need it, to the right side of you. Lie on the back, knees bent, feet on the ground. And just hug your left knee into your chest. And lower your right leg. Circling the left knee a couple of times while you hold it in one direction. And then circling the knee a couple of times in the opposite direction. And then rolling the entire body to the right, using your left elbow maybe to support you to roll over, and your support might be holding you on the inside of your left knee. Left hand goes on the waist, right hand goes on the outer thigh. If you particularly want to stretch onto the left arm, and raise your left arm above you and have the back of the left hand on the mat above you. It's a stronger stretch, but otherwise just hold your left waist. I find that if I run my hand down my left waist to my left hip, and then use my right hand to just run my hand along my left thigh, almost like smooths down to the hip and then smooths out from the hip to almost above the knee. Just stretches the muscles a little bit more. You can extend your right heel and then just release it. The shoulder is supposed to be, mine isn't, but the shoulder is supposed to be, the left shoulder is supposed to be on the ground, but I find that almost impossible. And just very gently then roll onto the back, both feet on the ground, press them down, and lift and realign your back. Move your bolster to or support to the left side. Hug your right knee into the chest and lower your left leg, and then begin to circle the right knee a couple of times in one direction, and then circle in the opposite direction. And then, using perhaps your right elbow, just roll the whole body to the left, reversing what we did. Right hand on the right waist, left hand on the outer right thigh. Just relax. Opening across the chest, it's a rotation. Bending the knee, it softens and gives space to the lower back. So it's helpful, particularly if you're stiff on the right side. In this case, as we're bending the right knee. Eyes open or closed. An option to lift the right arm above you. Oh, sorry. Resting your hand, back of your hand on the ground. If you want to open up under the arm. Extend the left heel and then release and relax it if you want an extra stretch. And then just very, very gently thinking about rolling onto the back, both feet onto the ground. Just realign, straighten yourself up, and do a couple of pelvic tilts. And then hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest, and just very gently rock from side to side. And then very gently hugging both knees into the chest, still holding them, let them drift away to arm's length. And just do that a few times to your own breath pattern. And then just very gently supporting your legs as you place your feet on the ground. Lift your bottom and place your bolster underneath your bottom, underneath your lower hips. Palms down alongside you. Bend one knee in and then the other, and then one leg up and then the other. So you're in a very gentle inversion. And when your legs are up, you might find that they very gently begin to circle. Naturally in one direction. They're supposed to move in line with gravity. So an inversion, variations of inversions, are believed to balance the endocrine or the hormonal system. Takes weight off the legs. And you can stay like this, or you can experiment bringing the left leg towards you and the right leg away from you. So it's almost like opening in one direction. As little or as much as you like. And then bringing the legs back together and scissoring them so that the left leg goes away and the right leg comes towards you. Opening a little bit or a lot. Bring them back. And then open the legs into a V, extend the heels. And you'll feel that on the inside of the thighs. And then bring the legs back together. And if you cross the ankles, it kind of allows you to lift up sometimes a little bit more. And then perhaps cross the other ankle. And then just come back to the legs up. And then just very gently bend the knees, hugging the knees into the chest. And then just very, very gently place the feet onto the ground, but have the support underneath your hips still, so that the blood is almost slightly running back, not to the heart, it depends on how high your bolster is, very subtly running back to the heart. So it's very calming for the nervous system again. But restful for the heart. Leaving your elbows on the ground, just raise your hands, stretch your fingers up to the ceiling, and then point your fingers away down to the ground. Breathing in, fingers up to the ceiling, and breathing out, just pointing your fingers down to the ground. And then just very gently circle your wrists a few times in one direction. And then circle your wrists a few times in the opposite direction. And then open your fingers, stretching them out, and then just relaxing them. And stretching your fingers out, and then relaxing. And then just relaxing your hands back down onto the ground. And we're going to come to a sitting position to finish the class. So press your feet into the earth, lift your bottom enough to move or slide your support out from underneath you. Your bottom comes back down to the ground, hugging your knees into your chest, just rocking once more from side to side. And then when you're ready, take your time to roll to the side or rock up. If you roll, it will be to the right, away from your heart, which is again more restful. And come to a cross-legged position. Hands on the knees, breathing in, sitting up, and breathing out, chin to chest. Just a couple of times. and chin to chest. And then we're going to finish with Reiki and somatic movement, hands to the front of the ears, thumbs behind, chin slightly to the chest. Just take an in and an out breath here. And then, it doesn't matter which hand, one hand to the back of the head, one hand to the forehead, you're looking down, back of the neck long. You're almost pressing your hands towards one another, so that you feel the pressure on your skull. You're connecting into some acupressure points on the back of the skull, front, as well the third eye here. And then keep the hand at the forehead and take the hand from the back of the head to the chest, and then you'll start to sit up. Take it in and an out breath here. And then keep the hand at the chest and drop the hand from the forehead to the navel, sitting up. Take a moment to have a thought for the day, for yourself or for someone close to you. And just mentally think that thought a couple of times. Let the thought go. And then just bring both hands to the heart, either like this, put that out, or in prayer, whatever works for you. But take a bow for yourself, chin to chest, for a very lovely day ahead. And